Hey guys, this is our first set of notes on the new unit called Solving Quadratics. Basically, we are now going to go into the next mini unit, which has nothing to do with solving for x. If you guys take a look up here, let me get my pen working here. You'll notice that what we know now is you guys can pretty much solve any equation with x in it. You're not always perfect, but with all the stuff you guys have learned, you can pretty much do anything. For example, this big crazy looking equation right here, I know you don't want to do it, and we're not gonna, but you could solve it. You draw the wall, you guys know all how to distribute, how to multiply, solo artists, cut this into two different fractions, right? Again, distribute. So this would just give us a bunch of x's, a bunch of regular numbers, a bunch of x's, regular numbers, etc. You guys get the idea. And the same thing over here. Okay. Eventually, when we combine like terms, we would just get some x's and a regular number. Over on the other side, we'd get some x's and a regular number. And again, you guys do know how to solve those type of equations. Now, I'm not going to do it, and you guys don't care, but you really do know how to solve 90%, 95% of most equations with just an x in it. The problem is right here. We don't know how to solve, at least not as well, equations with x squareds in it. Okay, so this whole unit for the next part of this quarter is going to be on what we call quadratics. Quadratics are equations with x squareds in it. For any of you guys who really give a crap about why this is called a quadratic, since quad means four sides, believe it or not, why would x squared be called a quadratic? Back in the day, Greeks, I think, or Egyptians, they were infatuated with squares. So of course, when they started doing areas, x times base times height, it always came out to be x squared. So four-sided figures, the area came out to be x squared. Coach, I don't care. Well, you're right. So let's get on with it. Here's the bottom line. Make sure I got this pen working. Bottom line is this. We're now trying to solve these types of equations. The problem with it, the regular way we do it, is we try to get x alone or x squared alone. In either case, let's say I try to get x squared alone, because I can't combine them, I end up with something that looks like this. So either way, I got an x squared on one side and x on the other. I am never going to be able to get a regular number. So it's impossible. So the regular solving doesn't work. Bottom line is we've got to change everything. So from now on, anytime you guys see an x squared in a question, the two things you have to do is this. You've got to, one, get everything over to one side, which means it's equal to 0. Number two, get it into standard form. No big deal. That just means the x squared term is always first, the x is second, and the regular number, also known as the constant, is third. You have to make sure you put it in that order. That is basically all we're going to do today, is making sure we understand how to get it, everything over to one side, and get it in standard form. Alright, so let's do some problems. So here's the bottom line, is we're going to take some examples like this, take a look at them. As soon as I see an x squared, I know I have to get everything over to one side, which it is. It's set equal to 0. We're good there. And we have to get it in standard form, which means the x squared goes first. Don't forget its sign, right? The x goes second. That is an invisible plus. And of course the constant, the regular number, goes last. That's all we're looking at. So no big deal. Okay? Example 2. Again, we draw the wall. Now this time it is not set equal to 0. Everything isn't over to one side. So we've got to make this 10 disappear. subtract 10. Now here's the issue. To organize this, this negative 10 does not go with the x squared, and it doesn't go with the x. It also isn't a lot of room over here to squeeze it in minus 10. You could do that. Typically what I'll do is instead of squeezing it in, it screws me up, I'll literally just write it in the middle. Okay, so if you look at it, I know I'm going to do the x squareds first. I'm going to do the x's second. And now I've got this constant, this regular number that just sticks on the end. So you organize it how you want, but that's basically all we need to do. Okay? So standard form, set equal to 0. All right, example 3. Same concept. Get everything over to one side. So I need to make the 6x disappear. Again, I can put it where I want. I'm going to chuck it in the middle. And we'll go from there. X squared. The x is next. The regular number is last. You guys get the idea. All right, so let's get to some more examples that are a little more advanced. So from here, we're going to take a look at example 4. Just make sure my pen is working here one more time. Okay, should be good. All right, so once again, we've got an x squared. So we're going to say to ourselves, get everything over to one side. Let's make the 4x disappear. And again, we can organize it now. X's go with x's. So let's be smart enough to put it down here. Okay. We can also get rid of the 6. Subtract 6, whatever you do one side, do the other. Now, again, I kind of want it at the end over here, but I know I'm not going to squeeze that in every time, especially if your handwriting is bigger. So I'm just going to chuck it over here, knowing that I'm going to put them in the right order. X squareds first. X is second. And then, of course, our constant third. And that is set equal to 0. So we've got it in the right order. And we've got it set equal to 0. And again, that's all we're really looking for. Okay? All right. Let's go to example 5. This is a little more complicated than all the other ones. And the reason why is we've got parentheses and a square. Now we know that we're going to have to make these disappear eventually, but step 1 is to simplify as usual. So off to the side, I'm going to take this and do what we've learned in the last couple months, which is just square it, write it twice, and do our double distributing. Minus 6x and positive 36. Combine. Okay, so this is our standard stuff. Now we get to rewrite it over here. So this does take a while. This is why these are advanced stuff, but you guys do know how to do all this. Okay, so once we get it simplified, we're back to normal. We got to get rid of all this stuff on this side. So let's subtract 3x. Let's organize this and put it there. And now we're going to subtract 10 and organize that. First time we've been able to stack them. And do your thing. Combine. X squared minus 15x looks like a plus 26. And that's set equal to 0. Okay? So that's basically what we're looking at. Again, same stuff. Simplify, get everything over to one side, organize it. I'm going to give you guys one last one, which is kind of a crazy thing, just to show you guys all the things that you've learned in the past. So what we've done in the past when we see a square root sign is to isolate it. Junk and divide or get rid of the extra stuff. So we're going to minus 8 from both sides. This would be considered extra credit, but I just want to show you guys some advanced stuff that you can do with this. Okay, once we get the square root isolated, we know how to get rid of it. That's square it. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the whole other side. This is the new stuff. Okay, the squares and the square roots cancel each other out, so I'm left with x plus 6. This is good. Unfortunately, over here, it's not as simple as squaring it. We've got to do what we did previously. Off to the side, do my x plus 2, x plus 2. You guys know the routine. X squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4. So now you can see where all this stuff starts to come together. So I've got x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now, it doesn't matter which side you go to. I just want everything over to one side. I typically like my x squared positive, so I'm actually going to bring everything over to that side because I don't want to mess with my x squared. So I'm going to subtract an x, and I'm going to subtract a 6. Again, I'm getting rid of one side, getting everything over to one side, however you want to say it. Okay? Oops, sorry. Minus 6, minus 6. That was sloppy. Sorry, guys. So I get x squared plus 3x minus 2. Now that is a little more advanced. Don't worry about it. We're not going there. But just so you understand how all this stuff comes together. All right, that's your notes. I'm going to give you guys post an assignment. And all we're looking to do is to get everything over to one side in standard form.